I'm unhappy and I don't know why. It sounds scary, it sounds confrontational, it sounds too real. Yet, when I'm talking to the guys, in our coaching conversations, and we have that first conversation when they're telling me why they've come, when we really unpack it, that's what they're saying underneath it all. Hey Dim, I'm unhappy and I don't even know why. I've achieved a bunch of stuff. My LinkedIn profile looks good, but it's not been as fulfilling or as satisfying as I thought it would be. And I thought there'd be more. What I'm going to do in this video is explain to you what's going on that's causing that and how to address it. And the good news about that is when you can understand those two things and start to move to a place where you are more happier and you're living closer to your potential, which is a big part of it, you're going to find that you almost have a blueprint to connect to a place of greater happiness, more fulfillment, and more satisfaction with what you're doing. So to get into it, let me first explain this and highlight to you probably one of the fundamental issues. If you're anything like a lot of the guys that follow my stuff, you've probably been raised to follow a script. And here's what that script could be. Go to a good school so you can get into a good uni, so you can get a good job, so maybe you can have financial stability, so you can find a good girl, so you can have good kids, so you can send them to a good school and let the cycle repeat. That's typically what a lot of the guys who approach me, that's the script that they've come from. In fact, the script that I came from, right? But for me, and I've been through this, I went through 8 years of corporate and found myself quite unfulfilled through that period. And I was unhappy and I didn't know why. And I never wanted to admit it. I just thought, but I just was determined. I knew that there was more. And here's what I found. And if you've heard of the book Think and Grow Rich, in that book, he talks about a secret that permeates the whole book. I'll tell you what that secret is, and I'm going to give you a bonus one because I really think there's two here. Here's the two core elements that you need, that anyone needs, to connect to that life where they're not coping through it, hoping for distractions, but they're thriving and they're loving it and they're waking up looking forward to what they're going to do, and they think they feel like they're doing something really meaningful, and it's satisfying when they make progress. Here's the two elements, the two secrets. It's purpose and it's self-belief. Purpose and self-belief. Here's the thing, if you're anything like most of the guys who approached me, you've probably followed that script, and in a way that script has been your purpose because you've inherited it from when you were a child by the people who represented your view of the world, which is basically your parents, teachers, and preachers, the people that you grew up around when you were young and they represented your access to the greater world. Your parents, teachers, and preachers, they were the ones, and through no fault of their own, who would have told you, hey, this is the script, this is the path you can take. The only thing is that wasn't your path, that was a path that was given to you, right? Hopefully if there's a lucky coincidence, the path that was given to you also is in line with what you want to do, and that's great. But my guess, and from over 5 years of coaching at this point, and 15 years of leadership experience, 8 years of personal development immersion, it's probably because you're lacking your unique purpose, and that's okay. Because here's what you do. You've reached a natural point in the journey. I'll call it the plateau before the peak. And what's happened is you've used a certain script, and that script was designed to help you feel safe and secure, and it did its purpose. Because I'm sure where you're at now, you do feel a sense of safety and security, financially and all of that, in terms of skills. But that script was not designed to make you fulfilled and make you thrive and make you live your best life. It was designed to keep you safe, and who could blame your parents for wanting that for you? That's okay. It gave you the baseline. But the transition step, which is where you're at the plateau before the peak. And the transition step now is for you to transition from that script to one of your own. In 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, he calls it Blueprint 1 and Blueprint 2. The first blueprint is the blueprint that you were assigned, and it's not just the script that you follow, but it's the personality that you adopt. That's a different topic. But blueprint 2 is when you consciously live life by your design and rally it around your purpose. I'll talk about self-belief in a second. But where you derive your purpose from and your unique gift and your unique voice and what you're meant to do, it starts with understanding yourself and particularly your values. Because, and there's a video I have, it's called Your Net Worth Equals Your Self-Worth. And that's all about understanding your values. So I encourage you to check it out. When you understand who you really are inside and what you really value, what really lights you up. So for example, I have a really great guy. He's a head of commercials, a client of mine. But when I really probed him about what he really likes about his job, he likes the physical aspect. He likes building things he likes physical construction jobs. And what's funny is when he comes home, he loves working in his garden and he likes keeping his house in a certain way. And he loves coffee grounds and he loves art with his hands. So actually his highest value is doing things, with his hands, and in particular building things from the earth. And through our coaching journey together, he's now he started like a little side business where he gets coffee grounds and he from cafes that they were just going to throw away, and he turns it into compost, where he uses that compost to build create really beautiful flowers, because apparently it's great fertilizer, and then he sells that back to the cafes as a marketing thing to show how eco-friendly they are, right? Like that's an example of someone who's understood deeper, well, what do they actually love about what they do, and how can I create inspiring goals and mission around that? And for him, that was the first step, but as time goes on and those embers become flames, as you keep doing it, what ends up happening is you create a more timeless purpose and mission around what you do. So if you look at anyone who you presumably look up to, who has a great mission, I'll just say Elon Musk. If you think about Elon Musk, like, this guy is driven by a mission he basically thinks, I'm not sure how well we're going to fare just on Earth, and we're going to end up needing to expand. And so his mission that he's driven by is to create, help the human race become a space traveling species. I forgot the actual term. But that's what he does, right? And so because of that, he's driven, and everyone else, where focus goes, energy flows, and energy leaves where it's managed and organized least, and structures around where it's managed and organized most. If you manage your money well, you'll find more money comes to you because you're structuring it well, right? For example, if you have a focus on a goal, you'll find everything starts to wrap around that and helps you towards getting there. You'll see more opportunities, and you feel more energy, and you think more about it, and you make more progress towards it, and suddenly your meals and your diet and your sleeping and everything's tailored towards this goal. So when there's a focal point, right, where the focus is, then everything starts to gravitate and structure around it to support it. So in the same way, with you, if you're feeling that sense of unhappiness and you don't know why, I would say the first step is to if you don't know your purpose, figure it out now. And a lot of my other videos are there to support you with that. Because when you can start to organize your life around something that genuinely inspires you and that's genuinely you, it's not something that you inherited from someone else's script. But for example, maybe your parents love boats and you love boats. Well, that's great. That's great. Yes, you heard about boats and experienced boats because of your parents, but at the end of the day, if you love it, that's great. Then do more around boats. And find a way to serve ever greater numbers of people through what you love. Because, Tony Robbins talks about the 6 human needs. There's certainty, uncertainty, significance, love, and connection. So certainty is like stability and structure. Uncertainty is like variety. We all need variety. We need stability and structure. We need variety. Significance. We all want to feel some kind of sense of importance. Love and connection, self-explanatory. Those are the 4 human needs. But then the 2 needs of the spirit are growth and contribution. And if you're feeling unhappy and you don't know why, there's a very high chance, and my bet, is because you're not growing and contributing in your highest values, in your purpose, in what you really love. And that's the first. So the steps are to understand what it is you really love, and then start to organize your life around it, and start to see how you can grow in that area, and maybe how you can serve others in that area. Wouldn't that sound fun? Which leads me to the second point, self-belief. Self-belief, look, a big reason people come to coaches and things like that is to help work on their self-belief. Because self-belief is something that if people put you down when you're young, or this experience or that happens when you're young, it can make you think that you're not good enough. You're not enough, or I'm afraid of failure, because if someone sees me fail, they might not think I'm good enough. You know, if I miss out on this next trend, then I won't be, up to date, and therefore I won't have value to add, and therefore people won't think I'm good enough. They won't accept me the way I am. Here's the thing, man. It starts with you accepting you the way you are. Right? And here's how you can do that. For you, for a start, today, start to organize and create your life and prioritize it around things you genuinely love. Because if you can start to create for yourself a life wrapped around things that you genuinely love, that genuinely inspire you, that you genuinely think are meaningful, that you genuinely start to think that your time is precious for and you look towards, you're going to start to realize that, hey, I'm okay, I'm a good person. And that is the first step towards realizing, hey, okay, I accept myself, and hey, I can see that what I do actually has a great benefit to this world. And so therefore, I actually have a lot of belief in what I'm doing. It's like the ladder. If you've seen the Kanye documentary, Genius, in that documentary, like, you can see he's just got amazing self-belief, and you can have that too. If you can see it, you have it. You see, if you see it in him, it's because you've got it in yourself, and he's doing it to a greater degree than you. But if you know that you're a good person, and you have a good intention, and you're doing good things, and you actually start to do good things, it's going to get a lot easier to develop that self-belief. And if obviously you need help, then you can reach out to people like coaches to help you like accelerate that journey. But that's what it is. If you're unhappy and you don't know why, it's probably because your life is not organized around a sense of purpose. And here's the thing, it's not that hard to do. It's not that hard to change it. And some people have these like limiting beliefs, usually based out of fear. Oh man, if I change up all these things, I'm going to leave the safety and security that I have. You'll be surprised if you think about the way you're going right now. People get made redundant and all these things a lot easier now than they used to. I actually think it's a safer route to live by your highest values, by your highest priorities, by your purpose. Because that is aligning you internally with what your strengths are. So you're going to be inspired to grow and keep going and finding creative solutions and becoming better and giving more. You're going to be the best version of... I feel like being the best version of you is the most safe strategy you can do. Because otherwise, we run out of steam trying to muscle our way through doing what we should do. And then we live in this fear that we can, what if we get made redundant, or this happens or that happens? But if you start to organize your life around what you really love and start to build yourself and grow yourself based off your own strengths, it actually sets you up to be least likely to be made redundant and most appealing to other people because of the value that you give, because you're really playing to your strengths now. So if you're unhappy and you don't know why, take a look at your purpose, your sense of purpose, and your sense of self-belief. Those are the two things you want to work on. And here's the great thing. When you connect to that really inspirational sense of purpose, and I'll just use myself as an example if it makes it easier. See, for me, why I make these videos. See, I'm lucky enough that over these last couple of years, I've helped a whole bunch of guys, and that's been amazing. And that was the biggest thing I wanted to do. I wanted to use personal development to help a whole bunch of guys with their goals, because that's awesome. And then I noticed that helping them means that it helps their families too, because they're happy and they do better and they earn more and all of that. So it helps their families. And now it's like I started with the individual, and then I'm like, cool, it's helping their families. And now I'm like, I want to help my whole community, like my whole city. So what I'm doing now with all these free videos is like, and hopefully really good, proper content, not bite-sized bullshitty content that doesn't actually help, but real content, is I want like our whole city to upgrade their wealth psychology, to learn to believe in themselves, to find their sense of purpose and unlock their strengths so they can be the best version of them, so they can earn more and feel more fulfilled and all the rest of it. And then we can actually make a real change. Man, that inspires me. Of course it does. That's why I do this, right? And in terms of my self-belief, man, as long as I can just help one person, who's to say that's not good enough? I've had that attitude the whole time. And I think, you know what, I think it's in the Justice League movie where Flash, he's scared to enter the battle, and Batman, Ben Affleck, says to him, just help one man. Don't worry about it, just help one. And that's what he does, and that's how he gets started. So I hope this helps. If you want, reach out to me. I'm happy to offer you whatever I can, whatever free things I can, or sessions if you'd like. Thanks for watching. Please share this with your friends. Let's all come up together. See you.